Federal Europe will be a reality in a few years, says Jose Manuel Barroso. A fully fledged federal Europe may seem like political science fiction today, but will soon become reality for all European Union countries, whether it's inside or outside the euro, Jose Manuel Barroso has said. The President of the European Commission has fanned the flames of British debate over EU membership by insisting that fiscal union in the Eurozone will lead to intensified political union for all 27 member states. This is about the economic and monetary union for the EU as a whole, he said. The Commission will, therefore, set out its views and explicit ideas for treaty change in order for them to be debated before the European elections. So, Barroso is drawing up his battle plans. He is saying that, like it or not, you will be governed by unelected bureaucrats, so get used to it. Barroso even has the audacity to use the word debate in the article above, like he will take on board the opinion of all Europeans like a good little portrayer of democracy. Barroso is an authoritarian thug. He isn't interested in debating anyone about anything to do with further EU integration. He wants a dictatorship, and this is where we're heading, because as a movement, as a people, we couldn't organise a piss-up in a brewery. We have been happy to let anyone else do our political bidding. They would never sell us out to Europe. They would never hand over power unless they asked us first. Well, it's almost too late. 83% of our laws now passed in the UK are dictated to us from Brussels. Parliament is a sideshow. It's there to keep the illusion of democracy going. This is why Cameron can't do anything about the EU. Nigel Lawson came out today and said that we must leave the EU. The EU is an open dictatorship. If people continue being asleep at the wheel, then we will be buried so deep in the EU that we'll never be able to get out. This is what Clegg and Miliband want, and what Cameron truly wants, and in my opinion he's only paying lip service about the EU to keep his job. I get the argument that we should get along with our neighbours, we should trade with them, etc. That's fine, it sounds like a perfect existence, but this isn't the EU that's being created. We are heading for an authoritarian dictatorship where in the future, under EU rules, you won't be able to send your kid to school without, the raft of God knows how many vaccines being pumped into them. You won't be able to go to work unless you've taken the raft of vaccines yourself. Taxes will be collected centrally from Brussels and they won't go down, they'll skyrocket no doubt. Unemployment laws will get worse. Health and safety will get worse. Red tape will put almost all businesses out. The only ones that will be going will be the too big to fails. The EU is becoming an animal. Not a lovely puppy, but a raging Rottweiler that's out of control. Fiscal union means giving up your country's sovereignty. Barroso wants that and is arrogantly saying in that article that that's what's going to happen whether you like it or not. Are we really going to allow this once great nation to be swallowed up and controlled by unelected bureaucrats that were picked on at school and now want revenge? Are we really? What are you going to say to your kids when they ask you what you did to prevent the EU dictatorship from forming? That you were too busy watching football to care? I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. People that are awake know how bad the EU is and where it's going, and that a federal Europe has been the plan from the get-go. But over the last week, I've heard a lot of these people slagging UKIP off because it's racist or it's the same as the political establishment. Well, that may be true, who knows? But what choice do we have at the moment? The EU could potentially destroy everything you've worked to build. So let's make a start by getting out of it. Let's start governing ourselves. Then we can hold the likes of Farage's feet to the fire about the not-so-pleasant parts of their manifesto. But what else do we do? Do we just wait around and hope that Clegg, that massive pro-EU guy, the one who used to work for the EU in Brussels, do we just wait for him to have his road to Damascus moment? And what of Miliband? He's never going to offer a referendum. So let's get out of the EU and ban people like Barroso from ever entering our shores again. We need to govern ourselves. We've given that ability away. We are not a free country. And Barroso in this article is just laughing at us. He knows what's going on. He's not stupid despite looking it and sounding it. He knows that we're not a sovereign country anymore. We've handed over our power. It's all part of the agenda. If people would listen to people who were talking about stuff for the last God knows how many years other than what they've heard on television, then more people will be aware of this. But it's right in front of our faces now. You cannot help but see what is going on. Come on!